What if the most dangerous part of your South African adventure isn't the wildlife, it's the city you're staying in? While millions visit this beautiful country every year, some cities have developed reputations that travelers simply can't ignore. Today, we're counting down the South African cities many people avoid, and a few that are surprisingly safe. Stay with us, because number 1 may completely change your view of South Africa. Number 10, George Safe. We begin our countdown in a place that surprises many first-time visitors to South Africa, George. Nestled along the famous garden route in the Western Cape, this city of around 200,000 people is often treated as a stopover between Knysna and Mossel Bay. That, frankly, is a mistake most travelers later regret. George is consistently rated as one of South Africa's safest urban centers, and it shows in the atmosphere. Surrounded by the Outnequa Mountains on one side and the Indian Ocean coast on the other, there is a calm here that feels almost foreign compared to the country's larger cities. Crime rates sit noticeably below the national average. Community policing is genuinely respected. Tourists regularly describe George as the first place in South Africa where they finally exhaled. The city offers world-class golf courses, ancient forests, and easy access to some of the most scenic driving routes in the Southern Hemisphere. The local economy is stable enough to support a comfortable quality of life for most residents. George is not glamorous or globally famous, but when safety is your first priority, this quiet gem delivers in ways the major cities simply cannot. Remember that name, because our number 9 is the kind of contrast that makes you appreciate George even more. Number 9, Kimberley, avoid. From one of South Africa's most peaceful cities to one of its most overlooked danger zones, Kimberley. The capital of the Northern Cape Province, home to roughly 250,000 people, and a city carrying one of the most fascinating and frustrating stories in South Africa. This is where diamonds were discovered in the 1860s, sparking one of the greatest mining rushes in human history. The Big Hole, the largest hand-dug excavation ever created by human beings, still sits at the heart of town, a monument to the staggering wealth that once flowed through here. But that wealth never reached most of Kimberley's residents. And today, the long shadow of that inequality defines almost everything about this city's present. Kimberley consistently appears in South Africa's top tier for violent crime rates. Unemployment is severe. Infrastructure that once served a booming mining economy has visibly deteriorated. Entire neighborhoods experience persistent poverty and social instability that makes independent travel genuinely risky. Visiting the Diamond Museum or the historical sites is possible with careful planning and reliable transport, but wandering this city without local knowledge is strongly discouraged by every experienced traveler who has been here. Kimberley is a place where the past glitters brightly and the present struggles deeply, and the city waiting for us at number 8 has been dealing with an identity crisis of its own. Number 8, Port Elizabeth, GQeberha, avoid. South Africa's 5th largest city sits along the Eastern Cape coastline, carrying 2 names, Port Elizabeth and its official new name, GQeberha, and a reputation that divides travelers sharply. With a population of around 1.2 million, this port city once thrived on automotive manufacturing, a buzzing harbor, and a beautiful beachfront. Elements of that legacy survive. The beaches here are genuinely stunning. Addo Elephant National Park sits just a short drive away, one of the finest Big 5 safari destinations in the entire country. But between those highlights lies a city with one of the highest murder rates in South Africa, persistent gang activity across multiple zones, and infrastructure that has been visibly deteriorating for years. The service delivery crisis in GQeberha has made international headlines multiple times. Water system failures, rolling power outages, and collapsing municipal services have strained community trust to a breaking point. Unemployment runs high, and that pressure feeds directly into the city's crime landscape. For visitors, the core message is this: GQeberha has real, worthwhile attractions, but planning here is non-negotiable. Unsupervised exploration of unfamiliar neighborhoods is a serious risk. However, just a short drive toward the Western Cape, something dramatically different awaits, and number 7 is proof of exactly that. Number 7, Stellenbosch, safe. If George is South Africa's quiet, safe haven, Stellenbosch is its sophisticated one. Located just 50 kilometers east of Cape Town, this historic university town of roughly 200,000 people is one of the most beloved destinations in the entire country, and for exceptionally good reason. Stellenbosch is the heart of South Africa's world-renowned wine industry. Its cobblestone streets are lined with white-gabled Cape Dutch architecture, boutique restaurants, serious art galleries, and vineyards producing bottles celebrated on every continent. It is, by almost every measure, a place that feels genuinely removed from the pressures facing most South African cities. Crime exists here, as it does anywhere. Petty theft and vehicle break-ins are noted concerns, particularly around the university campus areas. But Stellenbosch's overall safety profile is significantly better than the national average, and it consistently ranks among the top destinations for both domestic and international visitors. The student population, well-maintained commercial areas, and active local policing all contribute to an environment where most travelers feel genuinely comfortable. This is the South Africa of postcards, and unlike many overrated destinations, it largely delivers on that promise. But our number 6 reminds us that political power and personal safety do not always occupy the same address. Number 6. Pretoria. Avoid. Pretoria, officially Chiswan, is South Africa's administrative capital. With a metro population approaching 3 million, this is where the government sits. Foreign embassies line wide, tree-shaded boulevards, and the Grand Union buildings overlook the city in a symbol of institutional authority. On the surface, parts of Pretoria project order and prosperity. The northern suburbs, Waterkloof, Menlyn, Hatfield, rank among the country's most affluent and most secure residential zones. World-class malls, upscale hotels, and diplomatic compounds create an impression of a city functioning well. But step outside those enclaves, and the picture shifts dramatically. Areas like Mamelodi, Atteridgeville, and significant sections of the Central Business District carry sharply elevated crime statistics, including vehicle hijackings, home invasions, and violent robbery. Pretoria's proximity to Johannesburg compounds the problem. The two cities form one vast urban sprawl, and criminal networks move between them freely, treating both as one extended operational territory. Travelers focused on government tourism, diplomatic visits, or business travel can manage Pretoria comfortably within controlled zones. But assuming that a national capital automatically means a safe city is a dangerous miscalculation. And if Pretoria raises your concern level, number 5 will deepen it. Number 5. Durban. Avoid. Durban. Warm Indian Ocean waters, some of the finest street food in the Southern Hemisphere, extraordinary cultural layering unlike anywhere else in the country, and one of the highest crime rates of any major South African city. Durban, also known as eThekwini, is home to 3.7 million people and one of Africa's busiest commercial ports. Its food culture, shaped by the largest Indian diaspora population outside of India itself, is nothing short of remarkable. Bunny Chow alone has made this city famous. Its beaches are world-class, its energy is genuine and intoxicating, and yet, Durban has ranked consistently among the most violent urban centers in South Africa throughout the past decade. Murder rates, carjackings, and street crime across the CBD and surrounding townships remain deeply alarming in the statistics. The city's 2021 civil unrest, leaving over 200 people dead and vast commercial districts destroyed, revealed exactly how fragile the surface calm could be when underlying tensions finally erupted. The beachfront and tourist zones have seen meaningful improvement, and many visitors enjoy Durban safely with proper awareness. But the risk here is real and consistent. Letting your guard down in the wrong area in Durban carries serious consequences. Which brings us to a city that surprises people in both directions. Number 4. Cape Town. Safer in tourist areas. Cape Town is arguably the most famous city in all of Africa, and the photographs do not lie. Table Mountain rising above the Atlantic, a coastline that steals your breath, world-class restaurants, art, design, and wine. It is genuinely extraordinary, and it draws millions of visitors every year who leave completely in love with the place. But Cape Town holds a reality that those visitors rarely encounter, and that silence on the subject does nobody any favors. The V&A waterfront, Camps Bay, the Cape Winelands, and the City Bowl are among the most beautiful and relatively safe environments you will find on the African continent. For tourists staying in these areas, Cape Town delivers magnificently. And then, just a few kilometers away, lie townships and neighborhoods in the Cape Flats that carry murder rates rivaling active conflict zones. Cape Town's gang problem is extraordinary in both scale and brutality. Law enforcement officials have publicly described parts of the Cape Flats as resembling a war zone. Drive-by shootings, territorial violence, and homicide statistics in these communities are staggering, in a city also selling itself as a global tourist paradise. Most visitors never experience that side of Cape Town directly, but understanding the full picture of a place is what responsible travel demands. Cape Town is real and magnificent. Just understand that the version on social media is incomplete. And as glorious as Cape Town is, number 3 will remind you where South Africa's most iconic urban story has always been written. Number 3, Johannesburg. Avoid Johannesburg. Joburg, the city of gold. Home to roughly 6 million people in its broader metro area, the undeniable economic engine of sub-Saharan Africa, and a city that has never stopped pulsing with ambition, money, and energy. But Johannesburg has carried the label of one of the world's most dangerous cities for decades, and that reputation was not manufactured. The CBD has cycled through waves of deterioration and attempted revival. Hillbrow, once a glamorous high-rise neighborhood, became a symbol of urban decay from the 1990s onward. Berea, Yeoville, and significant portions of the inner city remain genuinely hazardous for travelers without local knowledge or experienced guides. Sandton tells a completely different story, often described as Africa's richest square mile. Its gleaming towers, luxury hotels, and high-end retail create an environment that feels closer to Dubai than the struggling neighborhoods a few kilometers south. That contrast, the sharpest wealth divide you may ever witness in a single city, is perhaps Johannesburg's defining characteristic. Joburg can be experienced safely with local guidance, a reliable vehicle, strong situational awareness, and respect for the environment you are moving through. Many who approach it that way love the city for its raw, unstoppable energy. But casual or careless travel here has cost people dearly. Respect it, and prepare yourself, because the city directly behind number 3 on this countdown is one that does not always receive the scrutiny it deserves. Number 2, Pietermaritzburg. Avoid. Often eclipsed by Durban just 80 kilometers to its east, Pietermaritzburg is the capital of KwaZulu-Natal province and a city of around 750,000 people, understated, overlooked, and carrying crime statistics that genuinely shock people the first time they see them. Pietermaritzburg appears in crime data consistently as one of South Africa's murder capitals. For its population size, the homicide numbers here are staggering. Political violence layered over gang activity, layered over deep economic desperation, creates a security environment where even experienced South African urban travelers take serious precautions. Muggings in broad daylight, armed robbery, and vehicle hijacking are all reported with alarming regularity. The city does carry genuine historical weight. Its Victorian-era architecture is striking. The National Botanical Garden is beautiful. And Pietermaritzburg holds an extraordinary place in world history as the city where a young Indian lawyer named Mohandas Gandhi was thrown off a train in 1893, a moment that, in his own words, changed the course of his life and ultimately the course of history. That story deserves to be told, but the surrounding security reality makes it one that most travelers can only safely access with organized tours and experienced local guides. Pietermaritzburg is history wrapped in hardship,